Welcome to the Self Reliant Living Show, where we talk all about a self-reliant lifestyle to save money, live greener, eat healthier, and be prepared for anything so you can take care of the ones you love in good times and bad. I'm your host, Jennifer Osich, a homeschooling mom of 3 boys. I'm the author of the Preparedness Planner series, and my husband and I are the lead teachers of Self Reliant School, a website dedicated to giving you the skills and confidence to take care of yourself and your community. Be sure to stop by and pick up your free videos from inside Self Reliant School that will get you started growing, cooking, and preserving your own food today. You can pick these up at selfreliantschool.com/free. Now, on with the show. Hi, and welcome to the Self Reliant Living Show. We were talking just a minute ago in the pre-show that I have been a little bit crazy off this morning, and so I'm hoping I have everything I need. I have a helper and a runner. This is my studio. It's not my kitchen, so if I need something from the kitchen, I've got my son here helping me. You guys probably know Joshua from the gardening series on Self Reliant School YouTube channel. He is doing a whole gardening series there, and if you haven't checked it out, you really, really ought to. But he's not mic'd up. Say hi, Joshua.
Hi.
So he has to use my mic, and we'll tell you why in just a second about that. I just want to take care of a few things really fast. I want to welcome everybody to the Self Reliant Living Show. I'm so thrilled that you are here. This is my favorite time of the week where I get to visit with you, and I already have been visiting with some people in the comments. I love that. Please comment and let me know what you think about the show. If you're watching live and or if you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. There are several ways to watch this show. You can watch on Facebook Live, and those that are watching live, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Like I said, you can watch the replay. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on the show notes page, which would be selfreliantlife.tv/048, and that would take you to a blog post where you can read everything that we talk about in this show and also watch the show as well, so you'll get all the links and everything that you might need on that page. Okay, so if we do drop off for any reason, this is a live show, but rest assured that you can watch the replay on YouTube and on the show notes page. So I was telling everybody in the pre-show that today we're not having problems with Facebook. We're having problems with Jennifer getting everything that she needs ready to go. So, or everything I need ready to go. If you are on Facebook, I would really appreciate it if you would share this. It just gets the information into people's feeds that might enjoy this show, and that would really help me out. I would appreciate it a lot. I also appreciate all of the love with the hearts and the thumbs up. If you are on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber on our channel. Okay, so the benefits of doing this is for your convenience in terms of all these different platforms that we are on, and I hope there is one that is most convenient for you and that you are able to join us every week. And also, forgot to mention that if you are on the go and you would like to listen to this show as a podcast, go ahead and download it from iTunes, because you can download it and then listen in your earbuds. Okay, one last thing. I want to introduce myself. I introduced Joshua here, but I didn't introduce myself. I am Jennifer Osich, and I'm the author of the Preparedness Planner series, and my husband and I teach gardening, cooking, and preserving skills at our website, Self Reliant School, and we do that through our blog and our membership. And then I'm also the host of this show, the Self Reliant Living Show. So welcome to you. I am so glad that you are here today. Okay, we're going to get to it. We are going to make better. And I was visiting with some people in the comments. I'm going to go back over there. And they had said that they have never made butter. Oh, Renee, thank you for sharing. Valerie, thank you for sharing. I so appreciate that. And I am going to try and shout out to everybody who did share, if I can get to the comments. Sometimes Facebook lets me do it and sometimes not. But I definitely thank you for sharing if you did. Okay, so we're going to get to making butter. Lots of people said that they had never made butter. So that's something that's going to be fun. If you've never done it or never seen it done, this is going to be fun for you. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get going on the non-electric way to make butter. This right here is called a butter churn. I don't know, you guys probably have seen something like this. And what you do is you put your cream in and then you turn it, you agitate the cream, and then you make butter. And we're going to do that just 2 seconds here. First of all, I just want to tell you that there's this kind, and then you may have seen maybe in history books or some old photographs, there are also a type of churn that looks more like a barrel, and then there's a stick that comes out, but on the end, inside of the barrel, it's kind of like a plunger, and that's another way that you can make butter. It's a butter churn as well, and you can make more butter that way because you can put more cream obviously in a big barrel, but we're just making a small amount. So this is going to serve us really well. We don't need any electricity. We're just going to put the cream in, and Josh is going to turn the crank for us. So how this works is you need to have your cream at room temperature. So this is different than whipping cream because, you know, when you make whipped cream from cream, you want to have everything super cold because you want to have those, get those peaks and everything, because this is different. We're making butter, so we want to have room temperature cream. And I've got some right here, and we're going to pour it right in here into the butter churn, and then I'm going to have Joshua help, and he's going to crank for us. And let me pour this in here. Hopefully I won't spill any. Okay. And you don't want to overfill it. This is just a pint, and you can, you know, if you buy your cream in a pint carton, that would be perfect. I wouldn't fill it too much over that, but that's kind of what you could probably fill it just a little bit more, that depending on what how much cream that you have. Okay, so he's just going to put it, or I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to have him crank it. And this is, this doesn't screw on, it just sort of clamps on, and it is pretty tight, but you wouldn't want to carry it from the top once you have the cream in. I don't think you would want to carry it from the top anyway, but this is going to be super cool, and it's going to take a minute, so Josh is going to crank for us, and that's the reason he's not mic'd up, so hopefully the sound won't get on anyone's nerves. So I'm going to move this Instant Pot just a little bit. If you're just joining us, welcome. I was telling everybody in the pre-show that I have been frazzled this morning, and so I want to make it where everybody can see this, so maybe like right there, and then just start cranking, and he's going to crank while we talk and make some other things, and hopefully we won't get in each other's way, but if we do, we'll manage. We're just all casual here. So let me see in the comments here. Like I said, sometimes Facebook will let me see the comments, and sometimes they're delayed. So I'm just going to check here. Yeah, they're just a little bit delayed, but please comment and tell me what you think. Terry says she never made butter and it's cloudy. Okay. And Cynthia says, I have always wanted to learn to make butter. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to go over this one more time. I have, or had, it's in here now, I had a pint of heavy whipping cream, and all I did was pour it in here into this butter churn, and Joshua is cranking for us. This is no electricity, no nothing. We're just agitating the cream, and hopefully we'll get butter here in a couple minutes. Now it does take a minute, so it doesn't take that long. I was really surprised. We did it, you know, we've done it several times with this butter churn, and it doesn't take as long. So hopefully everything will go according to plan. Maybe not because of my morning, but I'm hoping that we're good with that. Anyway, you want to make sure that your butter is room temperature, and then that is going to go faster. You can go ahead and make butter with cold cream, but it's going to take a little bit longer, so just know that. All right, so this is the way to do it without any electricity. Now, there is a way to do it if you have a mixer. You can use a hand mixer, or you can use just like a KitchenAid, a stand mixer. I used my Bosch mixer to make cream, and I didn't bring it up here to make the cream for you in front of you because I knew I was going to have this noise going and then the Bosch mixer going, so I decided against that. But what I did was I took some pictures of what it looks like, and Bill's going to put them here on the screen. Hopefully. They're just in the show folder. And he's looking at me going, it's one of those mornings, I'm telling you. So they're in our show folder, and we're going to get the graphics up here in just 2 seconds. Basically what I did was I just put the cream in, and I had the batter paddles. I didn't have the bread paddles. And then I just turned it on. And it was like not even 3 minutes before it turned into butter. And he's getting the pictures right now. So I think there's 3 or 4 pictures, and it just starts out with it being cream in the Bosch. And he's fixing it now so you can see it. So, and this is coming along really well. And we have our small camera too. When Bill is finished showing you guys the Bosch, we'll show you how the butter churn is coming. Okay, so now we have the graphics up. Okay, so we have the Bosch, and we have the cream in the Bosch here, and then the next one is of just whipping it. We're getting that. And you can just see the progression. It's getting thicker. And I did use room temperature cream for this. I didn't put it, I didn't put in cold cream. If you put in cold cream, you're gonna go through the whipping cream stage. But this seemed to skip it because I had warm, or room temperature, I should say, not warm, room temperature cream. And so you can see that it just made butter. And like I said, it wasn't even 3 minutes. And so we're getting done here. Did you go past the stage where you can? Okay, so that, and then Bill, you have one more graphic or picture of me washing the butter, which is something we're gonna do here for you in just a second. We're gonna wash this butter, but we have another picture of that. And Bill's over there going, because I was not prepared for all of this, and I apologize. So you just wanna put it in some cold water. And what you're doing is you're washing the butter, and what's coming out is buttermilk. So you need to wash it once you've done it, and we're gonna do that really quick because Joshua is almost done. Okay, so Kevin is asking, when would I add garlic for garlic butter? We're gonna get to that in just a second. Is this cow's milk or goat's milk? This is cow's milk, or cream, I should say. Should the cream be at room? Yes, if you're making butter, you should have the cream at room temperature. You don't have to, but it's gonna go a lot faster if you have it at room temperature. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you a close-up. Like I said, we did not plan all this out in terms of moving things around. I'm gonna show you how to do a spread here in the Instant Pot, but I wanna show you the butter, because it's done. I mean, it was like that fast. Did you see how fast that was? Let me see if I can get it in the camera there. Can you see the butter? That is pretty cool. There. Oops, there goes the buttermilk. Okay, so let me take it out so you can see it, and then hopefully I can show it to you even closer. Okay, so what is coming out is the buttermilk, and that's gonna separate from the cream. So let me go ahead and show you how to separate that and then to wash it. And hopefully our water is cold enough. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cold enough. Okay, so now that we have the butter and buttermilk, we need to somehow take the buttermilk and separate it. And so this is what we're gonna do. You need to, if you're doing this in a stand mixer, you could do it a couple of ways. You could just pour it off. You could also add some ice water and then put it on again, and that will help separate more of the buttermilk. But here, it's in this jar, so it's just gonna be pretty easy. I'm gonna take this out like this, and you guys can see some of it, hopefully. And we're gonna put it in there in just a second. But I'm just gonna pour, because the butter is real thick now, so I'm just gonna pour the buttermilk out. And that is like, you know, this is buttermilk like you would make buttermilk biscuits with. So don't throw it away. You can completely use this for something else. So here, can you see that? Let me put this over here. So now that the buttermilk is not going to spill out on this camera. Can you see that? Is that not the coolest thing in the world? Just turn it and you've got butter. Okay, so now it still has some of the buttermilk in it. You know, it's separated, but it's not completely separated. So what you could do, because Kevin was asking, okay, well, when can you mix it? If you're going to just use it right away, you can just mix it right now, and you can put whatever it is that you want to put in there, and then you can serve it. But if you want it to last for a couple of weeks, like, you know, butter does, then you're going to want to rinse the buttermilk, the rest of the buttermilk out of here. And how you do that is really simple. Let me see, I probably need a spoon here. Is we're going to take it and we're just going to put some water in it. The butter is, it's made of course, fat, and so it's not going to mix with the water. So we're going to take it out like this. And why don't you go get me a bowl of ice in a bowl? That would be great, just in case this water is not cold enough. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can rinse it with any kind of water, but it's already room temperature, right? So if you're going to mix it with room temperature water, it's not going to stay together as well. So it's a really good idea to do it with ice water. And so I had Joshua go give me some ice. I have this as ice water, but if it's not quite cold enough, then he's going to get the ice and it will be all good. So you can see some of the buttermilk still coming off. And this milk that I'm going to get, it'll be watered down. So that's the good stuff. And then this is going to be watered down. Like I said, you don't have to do this if you're going to eat it straight away, but I want it to last, you know, that's a lot of butter unless I'm having company or something. I want it to last a little bit. So you can clean this off, you know, as take some time and do that if you like to get every last drop. But yeah, that wasn't, it's not even 10 minutes, I don't think, and he had that. Now, he is a teenage boy, and he was cranking pretty good, but, I mean, still, that's huge for not having electricity. I think I'd almost rather do it in here than the mixer, because then I can pour off the buttermilk easier. Okay, so I'm just going to take the, make sure you can see this, I'm going to take the cold water, and hopefully I have room for this. Like I said, I didn't plan as well as I should. Okay, so hopefully, yeah, you guys can see that. So I'm just going to take this off, and this is chilled water, and put it in here. And so it's going to be a little bit cloudy because of the buttermilk. Hopefully I'm not, yeah, you guys can still see. So what you can do is there's wooden paddles that you can buy if you want, or you know, you may have some from your grandmother or whoever from long ago. And there are actual butter paddles, and that's what they're for, is to take the butter and turn it into, you know, turn it in the water so that you can rinse it. You could do this with your hands. I'm just doing it with my spoon because I have to touch all this other stuff and I don't want to get it all buttery. So then you just go ahead and just rinse it on all sides, and then you can see the water is kind of milky. So then what you're going to want to do is you just pour it off, and of course here I have another bowl, so I'm just going to, if you're just joining me, we went through the whole pre-show and I was saying how not organized I am this morning. Usually it's Facebook not cooperating, but this morning it was just me. I was not doing too good this morning. So, but you just want to pour it off, and then hold that. Okay, and then go ahead and put some more, and you want to keep doing this until it's clear. So you can tell it's getting even clearer, more clear now from just that little bit. So you just keep going. And like I said, you really only need to do this if you're going to keep it, but this is a lot of butter. You know, I want it to last a little while, but it'll last maybe 3 days or something if you don't do this. But if you do get all the buttermilk out, it'll last 2 weeks, you know, it'll last a good long while. Okay, so then just keep doing this. Like I said, you can do this with your hands. It's not, you know, not a problem. I'm just not doing it with my hands because I'm not in my kitchen next to my sink. And so, if I get greasy hands, I know I'm gonna drop something, and that would just make it worse. Okay, so then you're gonna give me my other bowl. So I'm going to keep doing this. Like I said, it's getting a little clearer. And you wouldn't want to save this because that is buttermilk in there, but it's very watered down. But you would want to save the buttermilk that we poured off right here because that's good stuff. Okay, so let me do this one more time and then we'll get to our recipes. So tell me in the comments, is this easier than you thought it would be? And do you think you might try it? Because it's pretty cool. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and salt your butter, you could do that now because it's all, you know, it's room temperature and it's soft and you can mix things into it. So you could have done that also in here. I don't know if I would have done it with the hand crank, but I definitely would with the electric mixer, but I would wait because this has, you know, you don't want to put any salt in there because it's a hand crank device and you want to keep that as pristine as possible. And even though salt is wonderful, it sometimes corrodes, so I would leave that out. Okay, so we can tell it's getting not so milky. I think I'll probably do this one more time.
A couple people are asking about the liquid, if you could use the liquid that you're rinsing, maybe for feeding chickens or anything else.
You could.
And then can you freeze the butter?
Yes, you can freeze it. That's great questions. Yes, you can definitely feed this to animals. I know I haven't fed this buttermilk to my animals, but what I will do with yogurt is I will feed them the whey from the yogurt. So yeah, this would be just fine to give them. And yes, you can definitely freeze this just like any other butter that you might buy at the store because you can freeze that too. So okay, now I'm going to go ahead and my poor child over here, he's just standing here with a bowl, but he's helping his mom out today. And if you guys have not seen his YouTube series, he has a whole series on gardening. He's just doing like a growing season vlog. So he's taking you from start to finish with our garden. So if you have not checked that out, you definitely should because it's pretty cool. Okay, so you can tell it's just I'm just doing it one more time, but you can see it's clear. And so it's pretty much done. I'm just gonna move it around and then that's gonna be that. So this is gonna be, you know, the thing that takes you the longest, right? Not even churning the butter, but just rinsing it. And the only thing is that if you use a hand mixer, you could make more. So maybe put a little bit more than we had in there, but not too much. But you know, I think this is perfect for most families. You don't want to overdo it on the butter anyway. Okay, so I'm going to call this good. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here this one last time. And you know what? You can go and discard this for me, Joshua. That would really help me. Okay.
You want the bowl back?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so that's it. Butter. Okay, so you could be done right now. Now this is unsalted. You could add salt if you wanted to, but you could just take this and you could put it in I have a container. You could put it in a container like this and you could put it in your refrigerator or your freezer. That would be just fine. But we're gonna make some things with this butter in just a second. But first of all, I want to make a sweet, yummy spread in the Instant Pot. I'm going to check here. Oh, yeah, there's that. Bill put that in the comments, his gardening series. So, yeah, you guys should definitely check that out if you haven't. Okay, let me go ahead and start with the sweet vanilla cream spread. Oh my gosh, it is to die for. It is so, so good. But let me clear a little bit off here so you guys can see. It's the simplest recipe too. You won't believe how easy it is. And if you don't have homemade butter, that's okay. You can use store-bought, but this is a really, really awesome recipe. I'm just getting a place for all of the things here so I can make some room. But yeah, if you don't have homemade butter, don't let that stop you from making this. This is really good for like a Sunday brunch or something like that. It is super good. And so I didn't use the ice. Okay, I'll put that down here somewhere. I'm gonna put this over here. This is like the coolest thing. And then I have to confess, guys, I was going to do this show and I was really interested in showing you the Bosch mixer and that you could make butter in it. And so I thought, well, you know, I have this set. You can take that because I didn't use it. I have this set and I had this butter churn. And I thought, well, we're doing a butter making show. Well, let's get that out and see what happens because I really didn't get it to actually make butter. But then we made butter in it. We were like, wow, that is so cool. And I wanted to share it with you because I was amazed that it went so fast, so easy, and no electricity. And there's something about doing it yourself, you know, with your own labor. It just makes it like, you know, job well done. So I wanted to share that with you and make that confession. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a sweet vanilla cream spread. And I'm going to use homemade butter. And I'm hoping I have all my ingredients. If you're just joining us just now, I was telling everybody that it has been one of those mornings. Oh my goodness, usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, but sometimes Facebook gives us problems in terms of getting the show on Facebook. But this morning, it was all me. It was me just not having my stuff together, not being prepared as I should. And then right before we came on, I had hiccups. So I was just really praying they would go away and that it would not bother you at all. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is the Instant Pot. And I don't know how many of you have an Instant Pot, but you can use it as a pressure cooker. Of course, that's kind of what it's advertised as, a pressure cooker, but it's also a slow cooker. And that is what I would suggest doing this recipe on, with a slow cooker to melt everything and combine everything. It also has a saute function, which is just kind of like a hot pot. And I'm going to use that here to bring this up to a boil. So basically, this recipe has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. Okay, so let me get something to mix. I'm going to use this. Okay, and I'm going to put it on. While I'm getting all the ingredients in there, I'm going to hit the saute button, hopefully. And then I'm going to adjust because I want it less. I don't want it on the normal saute. I just want it on warm because I don't want anything to burn while I'm putting everything in here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and there it goes, it's telling me it's on. And I'm going to take a cup of honey. You can use raw honey if you like for this. You don't have to because I'm heating it. So any of the raw properties that it has is going to be, the enzymes are going to be cooked away. They're going to die because we're heating it. So if you have raw honey, great, but you don't have to use raw honey for this. I would use organic if you can manage that. Of course, I'm getting every last drop out. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 cup of cream, heavy whipping cream. It doesn't have to be room temperature because we're putting it into a warm pot, but heavy whipping cream. And this is going to be a spread, so you won't use a lot of it. You'll just use a little bit. So I'm just going to dump that in. And then you're going to use 1 cup of sugar. And I have got evaporated cane juice here. Okay, so I'm just going to dump that in. And then I'm going to let that combine. I've got it on my saute function, and so I want to definitely stir it while it's on the saute function. Now that I've gotten everything in, I'm probably going to turn it up. So what I do with this is just get it to a point, I don't want to say boil because I don't want it rolling boil, but just when I see a few bubbles, that's when I know that it's really all combined. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cancel that, push my saute again, and now I'm going to go to more because I've got everything ready. I'm stirring. I want it to heat up. So one thing that I want to put in right about now is some vanilla. So I don't know what I said in the recipe, like one teaspoon maybe. I love vanilla, so I'm probably going to go a little bit over that. But it's just to taste. Whatever, if you love vanilla, then put a little bit more. If you don't, then you could even leave it out if you don't like it. So let me get something to put my spoon in here. Okay, so vanilla. I did a whole show on how to make a homemade vanilla in the Instant Pot. So hopefully you have seen that. If not, we will put it in the show notes for you to go back and look at that, because it's pretty cool that you can make it, and you can make it pretty quickly too. It doesn't have to sit for a long, long time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stir this. And while that is heating up, you want to stir this for me?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, while that's heating up, I'm going to look at the comments here that you guys are leaving, and we're going to get started on the garlic butter. So hopefully I can see things here. You're unfrozen. When I enlarge the screen, I miss all the washing butter part. Okay, Linda, if you missed that, then don't worry, because you'll be able to see the replay, and that will be uploaded to YouTube, and there won't be any problems. I know sometimes Facebook has intermittent problems there with the feed, so don't worry about that at all. And we will put that link, the show notes link, in here as well, so don't worry. Yes, it is, Stuart. It is nice to have an extra pair of hands, and he's great. He really, really helps out a lot. Okay, I am so thrilled that you guys are here. Yes. Okay, so Renee, I see Bill already put that link in there for the butter churn. And like I said, that is the best one I have ever seen. You saw how fast he did it, and he wasn't doing the manly crank. He was just doing it, just matter-of-factly, just monotonous. It wasn't anything huge. So that was fast. That was really, really fast. Okay, so tell me when that is going to start to bubble, and then we will do the last part of that. Okay, so for this, we're going to make some garlic butter with this. And basically, what we're going to do is, after I find a place for this bowl, you don't think I need it. Here. Now I got it. And Bill's over here trying to help because he knows it's been like a disaster, but it hasn't. It actually has worked out because you guys are here, and that is what matters. And I love you guys for being here and participating. Just like I said, it's the highlight of my week, and it's oftentimes just what keeps me going. I kid you not. I just love the interaction, and I love to talk to you guys. Okay, I'm going to put that down here, and we are going to work on our garlic while he is stirring that. Like I said, you just want to bring it to, like I said, I hate to say a boil because I don't want it, it shouldn't be a rolling boil. It's just something to really, and it's starting to bubble just a little bit. So, and then what you might want to do is because you can feel it heating up, what you might want to do, you've got your spoon. So what you might want to do is take a a whisk because you want to get some air in there. So you can take a whisk and just go ahead and start doing, whipping some air in there. So I think this is hot enough because I'm feeling the heat and I see a couple bubbles. So what we're going to do, you want to whisk here? What we're going to do is we're going to take some butter that we have already made and we're going to dump it in here. And this is 3/4 of a pound, so like 3 sticks of butter. If you don't have, if you don't have homemade butter, you can go ahead and just use sticks of butter. Now this is not salted, so I do have a little bit of salt that I'm going to put in here. But if you have salted butter, then I would not add extra salt. So let me get the spoon here. And this is it's not cut. If you wanted it to go faster, you could just cut it up and then it would melt faster. So I'm just going to put this in here, but it should go pretty quickly because we've got it on and it's starting to have some bubbles there. And then I'm just going to add this little bit of salt and hopefully I can get, and Phil's like, oh, that smells so good. Okay, so just a little bit of salt, like I said, because that butter was not salted. And so I think that's pretty good. So you can just go ahead and keep stirring that because it needs to combine. And then I'm going to go ahead and get started here on the garlic butter and make sure that you guys can see and get some stuff out of the way here. I want you to be able to see this because it's so cool. Okay, I have my butter. I've rinsed it. It's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some garlic. I had somebody help me do this too. Okay, so I have, let me read this off to you guys. I have 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I have 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese in here. I have 1 tablespoon of garlic salt. This is not salted butter. So if you are using a butter that you have bought from the store that's already salted, then you may want to go a little bit less on the garlic salt. I have 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and I have 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and then I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika in here. So this is very soft. We just rinsed it, and I'm going to get a spatula here. Hopefully I can cut that in there. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. Okay, so yes, that's perfect. Okay, so what he's done is he's whipped it. He's got some air in it. And see if I can lift it up here. I'm going to turn it off because I think it's done. Let's see here. I've got all these spoons everywhere. So let me see if I can turn this off. Yeah, okay, so let me see if I can show you guys. Can you see in there? Yeah, I think you can see a little bit in there. See that? Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when it's done. All right, that's perfect. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're going to put it in a pretty mason jar. And I've got some that we've already made. Let me see if I can get the top off here. You would not can this. I just put it in the jar for looks and because I love the container. But you would not can it. Let me see if I can get this off. Now there's some bubbles there and you can remove them if you want. They don't bother me, so I just left it like that. I'm whipping the air, so there's going to be some bubbles. If the bubbles bother you and you feel in the spirit, you can take it and you could put it in a blender, like a Vitamix or a Blendtec or something like that, and then it would probably be a little bit prettier, and it would be that there would be more air in there. But I didn't do that. I just like to have the least amount of dishes to do possible. So can you look at that? Can you see that's what it looks like? And you can see this has been in the refrigerator because you want to go ahead and put it in your mason jars and then put it in the refrigerator, and then you can see I'm holding it and it does move a little bit, so it's not like hard thick butter, but it's a spread. You can see how thick it is by just me holding it up there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when you have put it in the refrigerator. Now let's do our garlic butter. Now I read the ingredients off. I'm going to read them really quick one more time. And I have in here this little bowl. I have minced garlic, I have Parmesan cheese, I have garlic salt, I have Italian seasoning, black pepper, and paprika. Don't forget, for the exact recipe, you can go to the show notes and it'll be right there for you along with the video. If you want to replay it while you're making it, that would be great too. So I'm just going to dump this in here and then I'm going to mix it. We just rinsed this butter if you're just joining us. We made the butter in the butter churn over here. My son Joshua is helping with the churning. And so we just made this, we rinsed it, got all the buttermilk off, and now we're making garlic butter. So all you're gonna do is just go ahead and mix this up, and you're just gonna keep mixing until everything is combined. It's soft enough that, we didn't have to leave it out any longer because, it was cream and it was room temperature and all of that. So we're just gonna mix it and mix it and mix it, and we have just made our vanilla cream spread in the Instant Pot, and it is super good. If you're just joining us, you can go to the show notes and get that recipe. That will be there for you. Okay, so Joshua, you want to help me mix this? I'm going to move some of this so I can make some room and he can mix this, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you get all mixed up. I need to have some tray, take away all these jars. So you can just come over here, sweetie, because I'm going to move this forward and then you can do it right there, right here. Okay, so he is doing that and we have some already mixed up so you can see. You're just going to, like I said, you're just going to keep stirring, and then this is what it looks like. So, and if you want to put it in a container and make it all pretty where it's just, flat and all that, where you're going to serve it or something like that, totally feel free to do that. I just dumped it in here, but that's what it's going to look like. And this has been the refrigerator. So it is super good on crackers. It's super good on crackers. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing, and then we're going to put some of this stuff on some fresh homemade bread. I want to show you this butter keeper. Hopefully I can get enough things out of the way so you can see. And yeah, so I just want to show you guys so many things. And so I have all the stuff everywhere, and I'm like, oh, then I have to move it around, but that's okay because it's just too good not to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you in the little camera here. This is a butter keeper. So nothing is as good as homemade room temperature spreadable butter, right? Okay, so this is the way that you get it. You take this little contraption. It is called a butter keeper. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna fill it with butter. Let me see if I can get a close-up, hopefully. Yeah? Okay, so you're gonna fill it with butter, just like that. That's the top of it. Then the bottom of it is, can you see that? Oh, there's some water coming out, is water. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it, put some water in the bottom, put your homemade butter in the top, and then you're going to just turn it over because it's hopefully when you put it in here, it is it's thick enough where it'll stay. It's not runny or anything, right? So then you're gonna turn it over and you can leave it out on your counter. So how that works is the water is what comes up and it keeps the air away from the butter so that it doesn't go rancid. And so you can leave that out on your counter, and then you can have room temperature homemade butter to put on whatever you have, your homemade bread, crackers, whatever you have. So I have actually...
Keep the garlic butter in there?
Yeah, you probably could keep the garlic butter in there. Certainly with the spices. I'm not sure about the cheese. I don't think I would trust it with the cheese, but if you didn't have the cheese in there and you just had garlic, you could definitely do that. But that's a great question. Okay, so here is some homemade bread that my son made last night. He made it in our bread machine, and he had it ready this morning, and then my other son cut it up. So we have some really thick pieces of bread, but that's okay because it was lovingly cut by my sweet boys. And so I'm going to put some of this spread on so you can see how it spreads. Hopefully I have a knife. I don't think I do, so I will use a spoon. And that way my kids, they'll thank me because they'll get more, right? So you're just going to take some of this, and this is the consistency. Can you see that? No. Up, 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 whoops. And it's dripping a little bit, but down, down. There you go. There's the consistency. Okay, and then we'll clean that up. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put that on this bread. And you can see, Joshua, can you take that Instant Pot and maybe just set it on the floor so I can use this camera and people can see the consistency of it on, thank you, on the bread. Okay, so here's that. And that is the sweet vanilla cream spread. And then I'm going to show you guys the garlic butter. Here we go. Now I'll need a spoon too because I didn't bring a knife up here. So hopefully you guys have been with me for a while, but if you're just joining me, yeah, it wasn't Facebook this morning that was going crazy. It was me. It was me. So, but I made it. I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully you guys have stayed through to the end, and I just love this time with you guys. Now this has been in the refrigerator, so it's a little bit thick. So if you take this that he just did, that's going to spread a lot better. So if you're going to use it for company or something like that, you might want to go ahead and leave it out to get it a little bit spreadable because it is super, super yummy. And so that's how that's going to look on your bread. Okay. Thank you, Joshua, for helping me. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys being here. If you left a comment and I didn't get to it, sometimes Facebook is a little bit delayed, but rest assured I will go through and answer and look at every single comment. So remember, being self-reliant isn't about being selfish or just taking care of yourself. It is about taking care of yourself so you can take care of the ones that you love and your community. Take care until we talk again. I'm so glad you could join me today. Here's what to do next. Head over to selfreliantlife.tv to pick up the show notes for this episode and to watch replays of older episodes. To go directly to the show notes for this episode, go to selfreliantlife.tv and then without a space, type a slash and then the number of today's episode. You can watch this show live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, live on Facebook or the Periscope app. Don't forget to stop by selfreliantschool.com/free to get your free Self-Reliant School videos that will help you get started living a self-reliant life. Also, if you're listening to this show as a podcast and you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe through Stitcher, iTunes, or your favorite podcast app. If you're on a mobile device, just search for the Self Reliant Living Show. If you're on a laptop or desktop, just go to selfreliantlife.tv/iTunes. And while you're there, please leave a review. I love to hear from you. You leaving feedback makes it easier for others that are interested in living a self-reliant life to find my podcast. Take care until we talk again.